With that, I'll open it up.
Coach, I'd like to go ahead and ask you probably the question everybody wants to know. Are you going to wear a visor in games?
Great question. I haven't decided yet. Not something I usually think about. It's I'm worn them sometimes and I hadn't sometimes, just kind of depending on the day.
You usually didn't wear them in games at Alabama, did you?
I didn't. I always had I had a visor ready, I should say. I didn't always wear it, depending on the weather conditions or depending on when we're indoors. So I really hadn't thought about that. We got a lot of things.
So you are considering wearing one.
Yeah, I like wearing a visor, so I just don't know if it's appropriate indoors. So.
After seeing the scrimmage tape and the last couple of practices, are any clear on the quarterback situation?
Not really any clear. You know, we're gonna eventually narrow it down to 2. We haven't done that yet. Don't have a timeline for doing it, and evaluate them day by day. So.
You still got a situation where you're allowing Jacob to work more with the ones that he had been before last week?
We're still working through it. All 3 guys are still working and rotating in there. We'll continue to do that until we figure it out.
Have you decided on a timetable for announcing?
Like I said, we'll continue to work on it until we figure it out. It's going to hopefully rear itself out here in the next couple of days, but nobody's jumped out right now.
At this stage of the process, is there necessarily anything else you can find out about these 3 guys that
Absolutely.
choosing them? What would that be?
How will they handle a game plan? We have a game plan for anybody. We're working on University of Georgia right now, getting better and trying to improve fundamentally. And we've got a plan to start on some North Carolina stuff in the next couple of days.
Kirby,
As a long-time DC, how difficult is it for you to prepare for a team when you don't know who their starter is going to be? It could be one of 3 or one of 2 guys. How much more difficult
Well,
is
I
that?
don't know how much they know about Jacob and Bryce. Obviously, they've seen Grayson a lot more. So I don't know if that's a big deal or not. No, I really don't. I think it's different when you have 2 distinct quarterbacks to get ready for. But that's not always the case in our guys, because none of our guys are truly dual threat guys.
How many quarterbacks have shown you they can play within the system like you want?
I think all 3 of them at times have, and all 3 of them at times haven't. So it depends on which time you're talking about. Would it be like during the scrimmage? Would it be like during 2 minute? Or like during short yards goal line? Or reading the defense? Or just looking at half the field? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into how many quarterbacks have shown me they can handle the system. You know, we have a lot of system in right now. We won't have all this stuff in for the first game. So you know, we got to make some decisions and go forward, and we'll do that in due time.
To follow up on game planning for a different quarterback, as a defensive coordinator, if you're facing a freshman, is that a change? Do you give a different charge to your troops if you're going against a freshman?
Depends on who it is. You know, every quarterback's different. So whether it's a freshman or a senior, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to affect the quarterback. So how do you want to affect him? Come after him, you may throw it over your head. Lay back, you may throw it to you, you may not. I mean, it just depends on the quarterback and who it is. So I think it all depends on that. If the guy can take off running, you got to think about that too.
You talked about the 6 guys you feel confident on the offensive line, or that you feel like can play winning football. Is there anybody else that's kind of creeping up into that group to maybe challenge to jump into be 7th or 8th?
Yeah, there's really 7 or 8 guys that we feel like have come along and gotten better, especially since the last scrimmage. You know, Solomon showed improvement in the last scrimmage. He's a powerful guy. He doesn't completely know the offense inside and out, and that's probably his weakness. He's got to continue to learn, but he's going to be a good player, and he gets a lot of movement. So that's a key ingredient for us. Kendall Baker's shown some improvement. Alden Bynum has too.
Are you? Do you have any plans? You mentioned playing in a dome and not getting to practice in them. Are you going to try to get in a dome somewhere or indoor just to
I'm trying to
get the feeling before?
Trying to get their legs back and kind of beat the heat. So we're still looking at some options and some different things that we're weighing.
When do you start game planning and practicing for your first opponent?
We've already been game planning as coaches, but not with the players. And that'll slowly start tomorrow, and then a little bit more the next day, and be full throttle on Friday.
Kirby, we've heard some good things about Julian Rochester from some of his teammates. Have you determined he's going to be able to play in the first game?
Again, Julian's done everything we've asked him to do. So Julian's got to continue to work to get in shape and play hard. But everything else he's done, we've asked him to do, he's done.
How are you managing, your new life as a head coach? You talked the other day, you had 19 straight days of practice and you barely saw your family. You like working more than you did as a defensive coordinator? Do you find it's about the same, it's just different stuff?
It's the exact same time. I mean, the hours we work are the hours we work. So we have to stay in there a long time to prepare for the next practice and prepare for meetings. So I'm finding it's really the same time. It's just a different tier that I'm covering now. Making decisions on which drill to do, when to do it, how to set the practice up is probably the biggest difference.
Kirby, what's your philosophy on using frontline offensive and defensive guys on your coverage and return units on special teams?
Yeah, my philosophy on special teams is the best players we can put out there. I think that you struggle to have starters play on more than one unit, but sometimes you have to. And we're at a depth point where our best players are usually our starters. So we're trying to get some depth on the special teams where we don't have to use all those guys. But by all means, we have every player on our roster at our disposal in special teams. I think that's critical to success. I've been in a lot of places where the punt team lines up out there. There's a Heisman Trophy winner on the old punt team, and there's 5 first-rounders out there on the punt team. Nobody's too good to play on special teams, but these kids get that. They respect that.
Kirby, is Brian Harrigan in line to get carries, or I don't know how deep you can go in your rotation?
Sure, I think everybody's in line to get carries. I mean, Nick's in line, Elijah's in line, Brendan Dose is in line. I mean, Brian Harrigan's in line, Tate Crowder's in line. So all those guys are in line to get carries.
You didn't mention Sonny Michel. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
I don't know if he can play or not. So if he can play, he'll definitely be in line. The first one's in line. He's got to be cleared before I can do that.
What's Harrigan?
Well, he's not cleared yet. No, he's still out there in black jersey.
What's Harrigan showing you on these 3 weeks?
He's shown me the ability to carry the ball well, catch the ball out of the backfield well. He's picking up the system. I've been very impressed with Brian for a guy that signed late. He's been a pleasant surprise for us. He runs the ball hard and tough, and he competes. He learns every day. He and Elijah have grown up fast. They've had to get a lot of reps.
You said recently it was pointing that way, but it seems like based on your comments that Nick's going to be ready to go. That he's that you guys.
He's done everything we've asked him to do, and that's all we can do is do everything we've asked him to do. He's helped on special teams. He's carried the ball. I mean, Nick's done everything we've asked him to do. So.
Kirby, what about kicker and punter?
Yeah, the kicker thing hasn't played itself out yet. We've got both guys battling there. Right now at punter, Marshall's done probably the best job, but it's not over till it's over, so we'll see. Bryce continues to work. Bryce has got a really fast operation, and he's done a good job getting the ball off here in the past.
You'll hopefully get Elijah back in the next couple of days.
Hopefully, he's day to day. So.
John Atkins, you saw him back out there in a regular jersey. Is he back in full? I know he's
Yeah,
got that bulky
he's
brace.
good to go. He practiced the last 2 days. Did everything we asked him to do, and did a good job. So it's great to have him back.
Sam Madden's a big guy. We haven't heard you talk much about it. I noticed he's in a black jersey. I don't know if that's why he's not much discussion.
He's been out for a couple of weeks. He's had a little battle with mono, so he's not been out there as much. I think he's just now getting back out there where he can exercise and move around. So it's been a struggle for Big Sam. He's had a tough time. Just can't.
Looked out for a couple more.
So was Jawan Briscoe cleared with the shoulder?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we were protecting him there for a little bit, but he was just back going today.
With kind of an unproven group at receiver, have you seen anybody in particular step up to be like the top 1, 2, and 3 targets?
I think it's going to have to be by committee. I think the leadership comes from Reggie and Isaiah. How they go is kind of how the whole group goes. Both those guys compete hard and practice the right way. But when it comes for production, I think it's going to come from everybody. Chigbu's done a really good job. Stanley had a good last scrimmage. He blocked well and has done the things we've asked him to do. Riley Ridley's a guy that gives you great effort every play out there and gives you all he can. And even Jamal Mills has come along. Tyler Simmons has had some good days. So it's going to be a group that does it by committee. I'm really afraid nobody's jumped out there.
Speaking of Riley, you obviously worked with his brother over at Alabama. Did you see some similarities between the two in their game?
Not so much in their games, but they both love football. And their love for the game and passion for the game, and they're always smiling. And like there's never a bad day on the practice field because they're just happy to be out there. But the games are not as similar. Riley's probably a little more physical and bigger, and Calvin's probably a little bit faster.
Do you kind of like going into the first game, like you'll see who the quarterback is, this week with that mystery? Or would you rather for the team to get behind one guy to make an announcement
Yeah,
ahead
we're
of
gonna play
time?
that by day, just kind of see how the quarterback thing goes, and let them keep repping like they're doing and battle it out. So, the team's behind whoever's back there. So we've sold that since day one. It doesn't matter who it is. Whoever's back there, they got their back, and we've made sure we communicated that with them.
How much
Last
are,
question,
how
last
much are
question.
the players kind of involved in that?
Decisions?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not involved in decisions. That's the coach's decision. And, obviously, I think that it's important that the players understand that each guy has different qualities, but that's not their decision. They understand that we as coaches are going to make the decision and make the best decision for the team. And I think they respect that. They do. Our kids get it. They want to go out there and play for whoever's back there. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.